Hello and welcome to the final day of Inktober. 31 days we've been together, plodding along, struggling through oceans of ink and mountains of paper. And here we are finally, we've returned like Odysseus, unrecognizable, ink spattered. Our sketchbook groaning and warped with our efforts. But we're here. We made it. We didn't miss a day, despite all the forces that said, don't do it today, skip this one, you don't need to, what's the point? Let's do something else. We're here day after day. Now, you may not have been here every day, and I'm in no way mean to malign you. However, maybe you did some of it, maybe you watched some of it, maybe you just thought about it. You thought about art a little bit more than you did in September or in August, or you will next July. Or maybe you just did it for fun and you had fun. Those are all good reasons to do this. But the journey is coming to an end. We are returning our seats to their full and upright positions. We are taking down our carry-on bags from the overhead compartments. We are stretching and groaning and shuffling into the terminal. Terminal. Terrible name, right? But this is the terminus. This is the end. So, it's been nice to see so many of you here. Christine and Quilted Jules. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it too. I wrote a new essay today. And Andrew in California, Sharon in Missouri, Bartek in Poland, I believe. Christine, one of the double C's. And our friend in Ukraine, whose name I can't pronounce. Another member of the double C's. Madeline. Yes. Sleepy Old Owl from Antwerp. And yes, again, our friend from Ukraine. So good. It's been nice having you all here. Shane as well, getting his oil changed. Are you drawing? Maybe I'll make an oil painting. I don't know. Laura, yes, we're here at the end. We're reaching the end of 31 days. Look at me, I'm unshaven, need a haircut, I'm grizzled, I have bags under my eyes, but yes. Sylvia is sad too. It's true, it is sad. Kate has been here. Kate has been very assiduous and I think has completed all of her drawings ahead of schedule. I'm sure she has today too. Mary also enjoyed if you haven't read my essays ever, go to dannysessays.com and sign up for them. They're free. But I made a video along similar lines that you'll find here on YouTube. So, yeah. Jeanette is concerned about this award. Yeah, about this award prompt. It's true. Do I still mail the essays? Absolutely. They arrive in your mailbox every Friday. So if you need to ask, check your spam. Okay. Michelle, I guess I'll miss it. I will miss it. I'm taking it easy though. This weekend I'm going to relax. I'm going to eat leftover Halloween candy. I'm going to do it. So, all right, let's have a look at our prompts. We've gone through all of them. Let's quickly recap. Mustache weave, crown, murky deer, pierce, starfish, reckless, heavy, sweep, sting, shredded, trunk, dragged, blunder, ornate, deal, arctic, rivals, blast, button, firefly, rowdy, inferno, puzzling, onion, skeletal, lesson, vacant, award. Can you say them all by memory? I hope not, because that's a terrible waste of your brain space. So yes, do I have a favorite? There was some prompts I found interesting and inspiring, and there's some prompts that, despite the fact that they weren't particularly, I was happy with the results. So it varies. I would say I like the idea I had for instance, for trunk, where I managed to fit like half a dozen trunks into one image. I had a lot of fun yesterday drawing Vacant, drawing zombies in an abandoned city. Yeah, there's been a lot of different ones that I've had different experiences with. There have been some I struggled with and I really wrestled my way through, but yeah, there've been a lot. So, all right. So today, awards. Here's what I'm thinking. I was thinking about the whole idea of awards. Awards, I guess, recognition from your peers that you get. And how awards are really often a competition. People are nominated. There's the whole world of potential people. They're narrowed down to a group, and then one person gets the award. And I'll be honest, I really don't like this. I don't like competitions. Sometimes they bring out the best in people. I think generally they don't. I think that they don't have a lot to do with anything that matters. And the thing I'm talking about specifically are creative awards. Awards for creative accomplishments, let's say. And of all of the industries and disciplines, vocations that there are out there, creative people seem to have the most awards. Do doctors get awards? Do surgeons get awards? Maybe. I don't know. Yes, there's a Nobel Prize for medicine, but is that like a common thing in their business? Is it a common thing in the world of bookkeepers or pizzeria owners or airplane pilots or, I don't know, school teachers? Yes, they may give out awards and so forth. But the big deals that we make in our society are around creative people, creative awards. But the reason I don't like it is, A, I think you're competing using criteria that don't have an awful lot to do with the actual creative act. A. And B, I feel it's a way of recognizing creative people, but in many ways, creative people are maligned in our society. They're not recognized. They're not supported. Art is not supported. There's not enough funding for art programs. Artists really struggle to make a living. And creative people of all these disciplines, hardworking people, are taken advantage of all the time. Whether it's our copyrights being violated, whether it's being underpaid for the work that we do, whether it's giant corporations making huge amounts of money on the backs of creative people. I don't want to get on my socialist soapbox, but it's a reality. If you're a creative person, it's very difficult to make a living doing the thing that your work is. Your work. This is your work, your profession, your job. And instead, you get to compete for an award. So that just bothers me. So, but because today's prompt is award, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stop blathering in 1 minute, I'm going to draw the top dozen awards, just to remind me of how many of these stupid awards there are out there, and how I really don't think that they are the point, and yet they've become the point. Okay? And when you think about it, you'll see what I mean by how many awards there are. So I'm going to draw each one quickly. I'm going to draw them as quickly as when people start giving their acceptance speeches and then the band comes in and starts playing. I'm going to have that in the back of my mind as I'm drawing each of these things. I'm not going to give them more than a couple minutes each. I'm going to draw them all, then maybe I'll go through and put some tone on them, but I don't know. So I'm starting this thing simmering with resentment. You know what? But the truth is, why did I never get an Oscar? All right. Or in this case, a BAFTA. This is a BAFTA. So a BAFTA is, oops, how about focusing? You know, and there are people who've won like in many categories. What are they called? Like the people who won like a Tony and an Oscar and they're called. They have like this some term for those people. They are. Boy, I did not mean to start out like this. I'm sorry. I'm not. It's not nearly as big of a deal as I'm making it. To me, at least, but it's a thought. It's something. You know, I mean, this whole process of doing these daily drawings and figuring out ways to interpret this Inktober is, you know, it's made me think. I don't know how much profound and useful thought I've had, but I've had some thoughts about the world and life. There it is, the BAFTA, B-A-F-T-A. It's like the British Oscar, in case you don't know. Okay, let's move on before I blow a gasket. All right, so what is this? This is the Emmy that you win for, you know, TV shows. The other thing I might point out is that a lot of these awards are about money. They don't generally have a cash award. You don't get any money for winning these awards generally. Sometimes you do. Sometimes they have a cash prize. But by and large, you don't. But guess what? They broadcast the award ceremony, sometimes around the world, and they are some of the most lucrative events on TV for the networks, for the big corporations that are, you know, kind of doing advertising around it. And, you know, everybody's making a buck. Again, there's not necessarily a cash prize involved, so. So there's the Emmy. Let's look at what we have next. This thing is the Golden Globe. But another thing that I'm not a fan of, and again, this is just my particular peccadillo, it may not be something that you agree with, I do not like art competitions. I don't like people winning and, more importantly, losing ribbons and stuff like that for their art. You know, in a lot of cases, or in some cases, they win a cash prize, so that's, you know, I understand that. That's a way to make some money. There's also a lot of people who won't make any money, who won't win the prize, but who will put in a lot of effort into their entry and get nothing out of it. Again, what other businesses are there where people make big investments of time and materials and then get nothing? You know, those are the businesses that are bankrupt. So, man, this is quite a trophy too, Golden Globe. EGOT, that's right. The Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Doesn't this channel have a YouTube Play Button award? It's not really an award, it's a recognition that I got 100,000 subscribers. It wasn't a contest. I didn't get anything for it. I got a plaque, whatever. It's, you know, I didn't ask for it. They just mailed it to me. So that's sort of like you know, getting recognition that your car has 100,000 miles on it. So, yeah. Sports. Yeah, sports. Sports, at least it makes sense because sports are a competition. It is a competition. Every sports event is a competition, a contest. So that makes sense. But that's not what art is. Art's not a competition. You don't have one artist competing against another artist in any other sense, right? Maybe you're competing in the sense that a person buying a painting goes into a gallery and only has so much money to spend, so one person wins and one person loses, but that's not the same thing as a football team competing against another football team. So this is a Grammy. This is the Laurence Olivier Award, which is, I guess it's the sort of the London equivalent of the Tony, given for plays on the West End. It's an interesting depiction of Laurence Olivier, looking very, very well fed. You know, when I was in advertising, as I was for years, advertising has so many awards, award shows, dozens of award shows. And each award show has sometimes literally hundreds of categories. So basically, if you show up, you get an award. It's like a participation trophy. And that is and they're all generally for creative acts of one kind or another. So it's almost like there's so much competition that it becomes utterly meaningless to win an award like that. That might be better, actually, in a way. Again, everybody gets a trophy, kind of like third grade soccer. This is the Olivier. This is the Nobel Prize. You know, they give out one Nobel Prize for art, which is for literature. Most of them are for science. And of course, there's the Peace Prize. I don't know if people really compete for this. I mean, unless you're the president of the United States, generally people don't compete for the Nobel Prize. They just kind of are surprised by an early morning call that says that they won it. find most of the time when somebody wins a Nobel Prize for literature, it means I'm probably never going to read their books, just because they're often so challenging. Anyway, boy, I'm in a grumpy mood today, aren't I? Let's see. This is the Oscar. Oscar, Oscar, Oscar. Here we go. Am I going to fit all these guys in here? Yeah, I'll find a way to fit them all in. I don't want anybody to be a loser who doesn't get to be on this drawing. I think he's holding like a sword of some kind, right? I think that's what it is. When you win an Oscar, it's like for the rest of your life, you are Oscar winner so-and-so. Even if you get nominated, you are Oscar nominee. They always refer to you for the rest of your life as that. This is the Pritzker Prize. Slightly less known prize, but it's for architecture. I'm going to put it over here, make it a bit smaller, just so I can fit 3, yeah. I've got a bunch more to fit in here. Because as I said, there's a bunch of them. What do we have next? This is sort of, I mean, this is one of those things I could spend like an hour drawing it, or I could spend 30 seconds drawing this one. What is this? This is is it the Booker Prize, this one? Might be. Let me just double check. This is the Pulitzer. Ah, yes, of course, the Pulitzer. It looks like it has Ben Franklin on it. Pulitzer does give out they give prizes for books and magazines, but they also do give prizes for cartoonists. There is also a cartoonist prize, which is called the Eisner, named after a famous cartoonist. This is the Palme d'Or, which is the prize that they give out at the Cannes Film Festival. A palm sitting in a block of ice, it looks like. Not sure what that's about, but quite an elegant looking award, actually. And then this is the Tony Award. There's a lot going on. Here's the various masks of tragedy and comedy. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So I have one more to do. And this is the Turner Prize. So this is an art prize. It's quite elegant looking. This is the art prize, which I can't find a place to fit in. Where should I put it here? Okay, that's a shame. That was some bad planning on my part. Maybe I can fit it in here. Kind of like an ashtray being held overhead by a lady. It's a very Art Deco looking. Not sure if it was named, I presume it was named after Turner. Not sure if he ever won it. She may be cut off, I'm afraid. She's sort of a nice bobbed hairstyle. Yeah, I'm going to have to squeeze that in. I didn't do good planning here. All right, so there we have it. Bunch of prizes for creative people. What do we think? What do we think? I'm just going to look back at your comments, take a brief sip here. By Michelle, thank you so much. Thank you for that. See, that's an award that I'll gladly win. Kate says she likes the Urban Sketchers Throwdown. Yeah, I guess so. It's not really an award though. It's just a show, I guess. Not really. I'm not sure that fits into awards, actually. Chris agrees with me. Shane also, thank you, Shane. Another award. Thank you so much. Arthur is here. Kookaburrito. Sayantani. Would include the YouTube awards. So I think there might be YouTube awards, are there? I mean, they do have like a convention thing, so maybe they give out awards. Ali says, I think the point of creating is to both express and to have fun, to find the joy in every step of the way, no matter how hard it is. Of course that is. That is the award, right? That's what you win. Yes, that is the biggest reward. All right. Did you want award trophy suggestions? The Webby Award. No, I just wanted to do the kind of main ones, but chess, yes, but again, chess, it's a competition. That makes sense. Person competing against another person. But who was I competing with just now when I did this drawing? I don't know that I would have won an award for it in any case, but do you understand the distinction that I'm trying to make between things that are inherently competitive? I don't know. I think there are things that people get awards for, perhaps like philanthropy. You know, they get a recognition. That's fine. That's nice. It's not a competition, though. Competitions are contests. One's the winner, one's the loser. That's how baseball and basketball and soccer and everything else works. That's the idea behind it. So therefore, it's fine. Then you get an ultimate winner. I get it. It's part of the whole thing. But art, I don't know. Quilted Jules says that she hates juried shows because they pick apart our work. I have never and will never put my work in a show. Yeah. Competitions can also be biased. Absolutely. There are judges. They're human beings. They make decisions. It's not, again, at least in sports, it's clear who won. The first person to pass the finish line, the most points on the scoreboard. It's clear, unequivocal. I mean, you could say that they're referees, but they're there just to kind of support the rules. Yes. So an award for completing Inktober. Here's my reward. It's the sketchbook. And it says Inktober on it. And this is full of my stuff. That's all I need. I don't know. Yeah. Yes, Kookaburrito. I probably saw you in those award shows. I was a judge many times in them. It was just part of the industry, part of what you had to do. I remember I once this was kind of when I was particularly obnoxious. I was probably like in my 20s. And I had a big deal creative director who was hired by the agency. And she was in the office next to mine. And on her windowsill, she had a huge pile of all of the awards that she had won. The biggest one was called the one-show pencil, gold pencil. She had like a pyramid of gold pencils. So when you came and you looked at my door, you saw her door there, they both were glass, and you saw her window with this huge pile of things, and then you saw my pathetic office. So every weekend I would go to a flea market and I would collect trophies. You could just buy old trophies, bowling trophies, baseball trophies, any kind of trophy I could find. And I would just buy it for like a couple bucks and I would bring it into the office. And I had on my windowsill eventually what looked like I was like a high school that had all these trophies that we had won. Fortunately, my creative director had a sense of humor about it, but yeah. All right. The Oscar. Kookaburrito says, I'm going to have people always refer to me as third place preteen karate spar championship, Chris. I like that. There you go. Get that tattooed on you. Journalism. Yeah, journalism. I mean, I don't know if I sort of feel the same way, but I don't know that I do feel the same way about journalism, because in the end, journalism it's not a completely from your imagination creative business. And you could, I guess, theoretically compare articles to articles, series to series. It's a little bit narrower, but how do you compare, a watercolor of this to an oil painting of that and decide that one is the better? It's just, I don't know. Why is sport by definition a competition? It shouldn't be. I think professional sports are a competition. That's why you watch. People watch because they want to see a winner. There's also a lot of money involved. There's gambling, there's all kinds of other things. So, I don't know. There might be sports where nobody is the winner, but I don't know that anybody would want to necessarily watch that. The Inktober website is a pin you can buy with 31 on an ink drop. There you go. There's your award, buddy. You can buy it for yourself. That artist dreamer says, as an artist, you just have to compete with the last version of yourself, and then the idea is to become better and better, and that journey never stops. Absolutely. And I would say better is also a slightly loaded word, because what does it mean? Because if you just want to become better and better, better and better at drawing faces, let's say, and then suddenly you think, hey, maybe I should go off over here and do something completely different for a little while, do some like wood carving or do some cartooning or something like that. Is that not correct? Because then you're going to lose your position. with yourself. I think it's good to sometimes go and become a beginner again. You know, and I think the point about getting better is making mistakes and learning new things. To me, that's what Inktober has been about. I've blundered into a lot of things that I didn't necessarily know how to do, and I pushed myself, you know? So that to me was winning, right? Okay. You know, and I would think, to me, honestly, my award has been consistency. I like having checked off 31 days and said, I've done all of them. That was my award. That was my reward. Was just that. Okay. God, I feel like yeah. So anyway, what's the December theme for drawing? I don't know. We're waiting for the drawing, the August drawing competition to tell us. What should we draw? What should we draw next? What are we supposed to do? I don't know. I don't like rules. I don't like rules, and I don't like people who make rules and insist on rules. It just bugs me. It bugs me, you know? So yeah, it may not bug you. You may not be as insecure as I am. You might be like, you know what is he going on about? I have huge, he's probably never won an art award. It's true. I never have. You know, maybe if I'd won one, I would shut the hell up about it. Just be like, be grateful for the consideration. But no, I mean, it is an issue with me because I think it is missing the point. Missing the point about why we do what we do and how we do it and where it comes from and what the point of it is. Another thing I would think is different also is that athletes want to win. Like that's the reason that they're doing a lot of, like they're not just, you don't become a professional football player just because of you just love the feeling in your body of like running. No, those people work their asses off to win. Their whole like, you know, their whole survival is contingent on them winning or being able to win. So that's a really important part of the activity, is the competitive part of it. You know, I mean, you could be in like you know, like JJ is, she plays tennis. She's playing tennis right now. She goes into, you know, she's in what are they called? Not competitions, but you know, tournaments. She plays in tournaments. She gets really mad if she loses. And, you know, I mean, I think that's, you know, part of it. She enjoys that part of the process, of the possibility of winning. That is part of it. It's not part of drawing for me, at least. This is that glass one. All right, so these are the awards that I have yet to win. Boy, I hope I win some. Yeah. I like the BAFTA the best. And that was the first one I drew. BAFTA, you are the winner. You know what? I'm going to draw a little gold star right next to the BAFTA. You win. Best drawing on the page goes to BAFTA. And the winner is BAFTA. Da-na-da-da-na. BAFTA, come up here. Thank your agent, your mother, and your team, without which it would not have been possible. Don't forget to thank YouTube for being on this, for me giving you this award. But you've done a really good job, and you know, you look great in that outfit that you're wearing to the award show. Congratulations. BAFTA. BAFTA. Okay. What am I going to do next week? I'm going to finish my book. That's what I'm going to do. I'm almost done. And I've been putting it off. I mean, I've been working on it this month, but I've certainly been been able to put quite as much effort into it. And I hope that when it's done, that I'll win a Pulitzer, possibly Nobel Prize. It's not exactly literature, but you know, maybe they'll come up with a new award for me and my book. Leanne has been attending live drawing classes. Yeah, that can make you feel uncomfortable because you're surrounded by a lot of people who are good and you're seeing a lot, but it's also incredible. It's incredible. Live drawing classes are incredible. If you've never done one, go. First of all, you will feel awful when you're there first because you're like, everybody around me knows exactly what they're doing and they can see how bad I am. Eventually you'll get through that and you'll say, you know what? I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of people I can learn from, can see the different ways that they do it. So that whole milieu, sometimes there'll be a person who's like in charge of the thing and they come around and they ask you, would you like some input? And they'll say like, you know, do this or do that. But generally, you know, you're there to just do your drawing and do your thing. But it's really great because you're there for often 3 hours. You're just sitting there. You might have a brief break and then you go back in. And you're drawing an actual person right in front of you, a real person, and is really can be very challenging to draw a person and just sit there and draw this person. It really helps you grow. It's something that no matter what you draw, even if you don't draw people, it's just a really good deep drawing experience. There's some people who just do it week after week for years and years and years, and that's their thing. They don't even go out and make other kinds of art. They just make this life drawing. That's their hobby, going to life drawing classes. It's a really interesting thing. Every community has one. I'm sure you can find one. You can go to ones where there are naked people, or you can go to ones where there are clothed, costume people dressed as pirates, whatever. It's an excellent, excellent thing to do. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I don't like rules. I don't like constrictions. I sit around thinking about the person who thought of these rules. Like, why did they think award was, they're like, award. The last one will be award. Arthur says he doesn't understand much English. Thank you, Arthur. Thanks for putting up with me anyway. I hope that my English isn't too difficult to get, but yes, I appreciate that. I mean, I don't know that I would be able to sit through something like this in a foreign language. That's great that you're trying. Is this a Pentel or a Tombow marker? It's a Tombow Funisuke marker that I'm drawing with. Jean has done 6 years of Inktober. Congratulations. That's great. That's like being nominated 6 times. It's an honor just to be nominated. All right. I think Yuki has a really good point, which is, I'm sorry to have been ranting and raving about this. This has been a hell of a thing. 31 days of drawing anything is great. This has been, we've worked with limitations. And that's one thing I would say is, despite whatever problems I might have with this process, it is incredibly good to have limitations on your creativity. In this case, drawing with ink and having prompts and doing it every day. Having those limitations forces you to grow. It's like a bonsai tree. It forces you to grow in new and different ways, to try things you may not, to not just rely on the things that are comfortable, to do stuff that is uncomfortable, and to make yourself adapt and adjust because of these things that are limiting you. Because sometimes having endless freedom is absolutely overwhelming. You sit down at your sketchbook and you're like, what do I do now? The blank page seems very blank and very large, and you feel very small. So a limitation at least gives you a place to start. And that's really great. And you can push it. And I love looking at the way that people have responded to Inktober prompts. I'm spending a lot of time on Substack. You see a lot of people there on Substack doing it, but I'm sure on Instagram, Facebook, other places, people are sharing what they've done. And so you go, oh, that's an interesting way of doing it. Oh, I like that technique. So you're learning, and you're learning not just randomly, but in a concerted way. And that's fantastic. So what do you do next? Now that this month is over, set your own thing. Set your own limitation. I did dogs, 100 days. I drew a dog in a different style, a different kind of dog every day for 100 days. That's how I taught myself Procreate, because I did it in Procreate. I did it with my teacup, drew my teacup over and over and over again. I did it with Selfie-Tember, where I did a self-portrait in a different style and a different technique every single day. Just set yourself some limitation. You might say, I'm going to illustrate a story, or I'm going to copy a different artist each day, or I'm going to draw the same arrangement of flowers every single day, but I'm going to try and make it different. You're a creative person, just come up with some challenge for yourself. It's nice when everybody's doing it. It's nice when some outside force perhaps is determining what the assignment's going to be. But as an artist, make it for yourself, because that's what artists do, is we set our own terms with the world, and we say, this is what I want to do. This is what interests me. This is what I need to know about. I don't need anybody else to tell me, that this is what I should do. You go out and you do it yourself. And that is, it's nice to do it as a team, to do it together. That's what we do with Draw With Me every week. Come up with a subject, look at maybe some reference pictures, do a drawing of it. Sleepy Old Owl points out that I used to do the Everyday Matters Challenge. This is going back to 2003 when I first started doing stuff here. I had hundreds of prompts, things to draw. They weren't conceptual like Inktober is. They were more like draw your shoe, draw your front door, draw your this, draw your that. Just a thing. So you go, okay, I'm going to draw that. And that, a lot of people like doing that. That's something that certainly was a great way to develop your skills. But Cuca Burrito, thank you so much for becoming part of this. I hope that you'll join us in Draw With Me every Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific. It's a lot of fun and a great community of people and lots of fun things to do. And we've been doing it for almost 6 years now, I think. So, all right, good. Well, this has been great. I'm going to make a little video about this whole thing, and I'll do a flip through, and I'll go through and show everything. And if you've never been part of these things with me here before, I'm so glad that you are now. And I'll figure out some other stuff to do like this. Also, by the way, if you're a channel member, on Wednesdays, we do stuff together too as well. So you could become a member and do that. It's up to you. All right. thank you again, and I will see you next week on Thursday. Have a great day.